Semester of Neuroscience 2020. Here you will find your subject outline. Attendance includes 1 hour per week of lectures, 1 hour per week of physiology practical classes, and 1 hour spread across 5 weeks of both your anatomy practical classes and your final practical examination. Your subject coordinator is Associate Professor Sarah Lal. Neuroscience provides an advanced understanding of the physiological basis of the nervous system, including the brain, spinal cord, and the nerves of the body. The nervous system is crucial for life and enables senses, movement, and thinking. This subject advances physiological subjects by providing an in-depth study of neuroscience. It covers physiology of excitable tissues and introductory neurochemistry, synaptic transmission and neurotransmitter systems, and anatomy and functions of the nervous system. Neuroscience also provides an understanding of the chemical control of the brain and behaviour, sleep, emotion, and memory systems and learning, and disease states such as schizophrenia and mental illness. Emphasis is placed on student participation as active learners, for example, by group participation in the interactive anatomy practical classes and the development of the digital media project and engagement with the online teaching modules. You will find the subject learning objectives here. Please be sure you read through these to ensure you have covered all bases of the subject. Next, you will find your course intended learning outcomes. And finally, the development of graduate attributes, including disciplinary knowledge, research, inquiry, and critical thinking, professional, ethical, and social responsibility, reflection, innovation, creativity, and finally, communication. We have both lectures and practical classes and anatomy interactive online modules throughout this semester. Your lectures will be held weekly for most teaching weeks, and there will be an hour of each lecture. During these lectures, you'll be encouraged to participate in your own learning via interactive questions, the presentation, and discussion of relevant case studies, as well as feedback from your lecturer. It is highly recommended that you take notes as we go along throughout the lectures, as often slides can contain minimal text or images only. The corresponding lecture notes for the lecture, including any associated electronic materials or links, are uploaded to UTS Online prior to the scheduled lecture time, and you must read these so as to prepare and prime yourself for the lecture content prior to coming to the classroom. It is really important that you are actively able to participate in the classroom discourse and develop your lifelong learning skills. Practical classes will run for most weeks of the semester, and all of these are subjects related to neuroscience and those that will be reinforced throughout the lectures. Each practical class will run for 1 hour, either anatomy or physiology practical classes. During each class, you will need to write notes in your manual, respond to questions, and engage in discourse with your peers and demonstrators. It should be noted you are expected to attend all practical classes and workshops. Your manual outlines all practical material and activities, and you are expected to read the sections relating to a given prac and complete the online interactive video modules as relevant prior to coming to the practical classes. Please be sure you adhere to all laboratory rules and wear your lab coat and fully enclosed shoes whilst in the labs. We cover a number of content topics throughout the semester. These include Introduction to Neuroscience and the Nervous System, Membrane Potentials, Synaptic Transmission, Neurotransmitter Systems, Somatic Sensory Systems, Brain Rhythms and Epilepsy, Central Visual System, Chemical Control of Brain and Behaviour, Mental Illness, Schizophrenia, Memory Systems and Learning, Sleep and Dreams, Spinal and Brain Control of Movement, Auditory and Vestibular Systems, Emotion, and Parkinson's disease. On page 6 of your subject outline, you will find a program for the year. Please be sure you look through this program, as it will let you know where you need to be for each week. Your digital media project storyboard is due on the 3rd of April. Your final digital media project is due on the 22nd of May. Your final anatomy examination is on the 28th of May. The formal examination period runs from the 13th of June to the 27th of June. Some additional information. Attendance at 80% of your lab practicals or workshops is compulsory. To keep up with all of the contents of the course, it is strongly advised that you attend all lectures and practicals to ensure a thorough understanding of this interesting area. Your assessment tasks are as follows. Assessment Task 1, Practical Assessment. This includes your interactive online neuroanatomy modules, which are worth 10%, and your practical examination, which is worth 20%. The total weighting of this examination is 30%. The first part of this assessment task includes an interaction with the interactive video online modules, followed by the self-attempted quiz. 4 such modules need to be completed during the session. Each module is worth 2.5% for a total of 10%. The second part of the assessment is a practical test that presents you with anatomical specimens and requires you to accurately identify and name flagged neuroanatomical structures and, where relevant, discuss their function. This part of the assessment is worth 20%. Your second assessment is the digital media presentation. This is worth a total of 30% of your overall grade. The aim of the digital media presentation is to produce a digital media presentation on a particular topic in neuroscience that will be assigned to the group with a particular focus on educating viewers, for instance, a science literate general population, on the nature of the topic and what science is doing and how science is advancing this topic by providing evidence and a review of the existing literature. You will work in groups of 5 to 6 and you will be assigned a topic by the subject coordinator. Your group will have to produce a 6-minute digital media presentation such as a digital story, animation, video, or blended media on the assigned topic. You will upload your final file to a media sharing file site, YouTube, at least a week before the due date to gather feedback from fellow students, lecturers, and tutors. You will also assess the contribution of individual members of your group using Sparks Plus. The final examination is worth 40%. During this exam, you are allotted 2 hours plus 10 minutes of reading time, and it will cover all information that has been presented to you throughout the semester. UTS uses a number of plagiarism detection software. In particular, Turnitin is used throughout this subject. Please be sure you address any plagiarism issues prior to submission. The final examination is the only assessment that is worth more than 40%. As such, you must gain at least 40% in the final examination in order to pass the subject. The recommended reading text for this subject is Neuroscience, Exploring the Brain. There are a number of other resources listed here. There are a number of support services available, including the Academic Liaison Officer, UTS Library, and the Mathematic and Science Studies Centre. Plagiarism is taken seriously at UTS, and as defined by Rule 16.2, students' misconduct can include cheating or undertaking plagiarism as defined by another student writing your work. Penalties for misconduct relating to a specific subject are outlined in Rule 16.3.1. Students should be aware that any incident of misconduct is placed on a record with the registrar. Overall, we hope you enjoy your semester. Thank you very much.